It's me, Martin, and I live in the flattest country on earth with most bikes per capita, and a total of 50% of the commuting is done on bicycles, and electric scooters are banned over here. So this might be a great alternative. The Himo Z20, which is a company backed by Xiaomi, foldable and fully electric. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first. Legally and officially, I cannot ride electric scooters in the Netherlands. Bikes, however, you can. Some speed bikes, or speed pedelecs as they like to call it, go all the way up to 50 km/h and are legal, strangely enough, while the 25 km/h electric scooters are not. So this Himo Z20 might be the best alternative for an electric scooter. I've got mine for a couple of months right now, but so far it's the best that I've ever had or tested. So this bike is produced by Himo, still don't know how to pronounce this name correctly. But it's a company that is backed by Xiaomi. So when it arrived over here, it came in this huge and heavy box, 27.5 kilograms. So the moment you cut the box open and you remove some boxes and the protective foam, it's time to take out the bike. Then we have to cut all the cable binders, remove all the protective materials, etc. and prepare the bike for its first spin, which is super simple. You only have to install the pedals, then insert the saddle and put the steering wheel in place. And as you can see, that went without too much hassle and the bike was up and running in less than 5 minutes. The unboxing is finally out of the way, and besides some good looks, I really think it looks good, like manly, massive, but still very modern and sleek somehow. It also brings a very nice spec sheet to the table, namely a 250 watt motor with a maximum speed assistance of 25 km/h. There are 20-inch pneumatic tires, there are double disc brakes and a battery that is rated at 250 watt-hour and has 6 gears. So with that being said, folding the bike is first of all a big plus, but also super easy to do. And that's mainly because I can bring it now for free in the train to work. Speaking about dimensions, if it's in a folding position, it's only 86 by 74 by 40 centimeters, including the saddle. Now there's a huge downside though, this bike weighs nearly 20 kilograms. So taking it out of the car isn't that simple as an electric scooter, for example. Folding and unfolding is also super easy to do. First, of course, you have to completely unfold the bike and lock it with the big handle. Then you just have to make sure that the steering wheel is in place and locked. Then you have to insert the saddle and you're good to go. From the point of getting it out of your car and start riding it, it usually takes me only 20 seconds or something, because you have to follow 3 basic steps and you're good to go. But there is one more plus. If you ever get a flat tire or something, there is a genius invention from Himo, and it's secretly hidden away in the stem of your saddle. There's a bicycle pump. That's pretty genius, right? When I found out, I was like... Anyways, if you agree, give it a thumbs up. Now let's continue to safety, which is pretty important, and it's doing a better job than I've seen and had with other bikes. There are double disc brakes and they were out of the box set to the correct level of braking intensity. Now there's a front LED light and a rear LED light, but the moment the battery is empty, there's literally no juice left for the light. I wish, however, there was some sort of a system in place that could generate some electricity from your pedaling or from the motion, because right now, if your battery is out of juice, you don't have a front or tail light, which is to me a big safety issue. Besides the lights, there are reflectors on the pedals, and that's about it. So, speaking about the battery, there are 3 modes: low, medium and high, whereas the latter one will assist you all the way up to 25 km/h. This can be done by pedaling along yourself, or when you want to go full automatic mode, you just have to rotate the handlebar on the right, and then you go into this pure electric mode where you don't have to pedal yourself. One of the most common questions I've got on my previous video, it's linked up here in the top right corner, is can you can you ride the bike when the battery is out of juice? And there's just a very simple answer to that. Yes. Of course, because of the weight of the battery, you have to, put a little bit more energy into it to keep the bike running, but it's just like a normal traditional bike. Now let's talk about the range, and I will start with the full electric mode. It depends on the road conditions, the weather conditions, and your weight. I'm 80 kilograms, the road conditions are pretty good, and I quite often bike with just a slight breeze, and I get around 25 to 28, sometimes 29 kilometers, which I find relatively normal. It's similar to an electric scooter, but the specifications say you could go all the way up to 50 kilometers, which I barely believe. It's like in a wind tunnel without any wind, there's a child riding it, and with perfect conditions maybe, but in a real life situation expect something from 25 to 28 kilometers. Whereas for the assisted mode, so the motor is assisting you while you pedal along with it, is anywhere from 40 to 50 kilometers. And that is also far below their stated claim. But I think it's pretty reasonable. I don't bike 50 kilometers on one day myself. And speaking about recharging then, it takes around 5 hours. And last but not least, I would love to test the incline rate, but the claimed incline rate, but because we live in the flattest country on earth, I can only test it on my local bridge. So if you're searching for an answer to this, please go to the comment section and maybe somebody else can help you out who owns this bike as well. Riding the bike is also a pleasure. Even though, for example, I'm 1.88 m, it is still okay. But if you're a little bit taller, it might be a bit uncomfortable and makes you look a bit more funny. And if you ever decide to go a bit off-road, this bike can handle it as well. Now, to come back to my first points, yes, this bike is legal and illegal at the same time here in the Netherlands. It's a little bit tricky. Only the full electric mode is illegal. The reason this bike is legal is because it has pedals compared to an electric scooter where you can move forward without any motion or effort. If it wouldn't have any pedals, it wouldn't be legal. If you have to commute by train or bus and your last mile isn't really your last mile, then I can recommend it. However, because of the weight, it loses its advantages over the easiness and weight of an electric scooter for shorter last mile commutes. I believe there are 3 things that you should keep in mind. And the first one is of course the weight. Yes, you can bring it relatively easy along in the train, but I think it's more like a city bike, or for someone who park their cars at the end of the city and they bike all the way to the city center. Secondly, I would have loved to see an app for more detailed information, and I would have loved to see a USB port for charging your phone on the go. Last but not least, let's end on some positive notes, because I really like this genius invention from them to integrate the bicycle pump in the stem of the saddle. Or the price, because for around 650 euros you get a bike that does the same like a traditional bike, but for like half the price, which I think is really attractive. And on top of that, if you live in the EU, it ships from the EU, so you don't get any additional taxes on top. And I will leave a link in the video's description to where I got mine from. It is not as cheap as an electric scooter, I understand, but with the growing resistance against electric scooters in city centers because they're overwhelmed by it, or maybe some local laws or national laws, like in my case I just cannot ride an electric scooter, this is a great alternative, and for me this is the best alternative. But it totally depends on your situation as well. For this video I just wanted to share with you my thoughts, my local laws, and why I believe this is for me the best alternative. But I'm kind of curious about your situation. Can you just ride an electric scooter? Maybe your local laws are a little bit more easy? I don't know, but I'm kind of curious, so let us know in the comments below. Also, if you have a comment or question, drop them down below, because I might help you out with some stuff. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, you learned something. I definitely enjoyed it. So give it a like and subscribe in case you haven't already, so that we can catch each other in the next one.